You have to find a thought and maintain it for 17 seconds. So let's do that here. Now, in this environment, it's a little bit like waking up and being in vibrational alignment. You've listened to us a little bit. We gave a powerful opening that is in perfect vibrational alignment with the source within you. You resonated with the source within you. It's why you lighted up for us. It's why we thought it was a good idea to bring you here fast, because you were tuned in, because we distracted you till you got your paper out. We distracted
I'll throw it away.
We distracted you from the vibrational frequency. So this is a good environment for you to practice the vibration of what you're looking for. So it's like you've just awakened, and let's pretend. It's not such a pretending. Let's acknowledge, let's assume that you've just awakened. You are in that high-flying place because there's been a suspension of momentum while you sleep. And now it's your intention to maintain that vibration alignment. Do you think the best idea is to take the issue that matters more to you than everything else put together and contemplate that now?
No.
Because if you do, it's sure, isn't it, that you're going to lose your connection. So what we want to convey to you, what we want you to all hear from us, if we can convince you that the connection is what matters and solving that problem isn't, if you can hear that, because if you can sustain the connection for a little while, the problem will evaporate, because in the absence of the vibration of it within you, it can't continue to be your experience. So have we convinced you that what matters is the alignment? That's what matters is the alignment. What matters is the alignment. What matters is the alignment. And the subject doesn't matter. Now, that's hard for you to hear, isn't it? Because you've been working hard. You told us. You've been working hard. You've been trying hard. You try hard to get from where you are to where you want to be. And we want you to understand, and we know, it must just be so irritating to hear this. You've been wasting your time. Can't get there from there. The harder you try, the more you practice the vibration of resistance. And then the louder you ask, but the more you practice the vibration of resistance. So you just have to let the things that you want that haven't been coming go for a while. Just let them go. Stop using what you want that you don't have as your excuse to not feel good. In order to sort of drive this point home in a way that you can really hear it, we've begun speaking about your point of attraction. Your point of attraction, do you sort of understand that? If you are the creator of your own reality, and if law of attraction is responding to your vibration, then doesn't it make sense that you're standing with a habit of thought, with a pattern of vibration that is being responded to, your point of attraction? So if you're fearful all the time, your point of attraction is very far from what you really want. If you're ornery all the time, or a lot of the time, your point of attraction is different from what you want. Your emotions are your indicator of what you're doing vibrationally. Have you been listening to us long enough to sort of understand what we mean by that? You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and a part of you came into this body. A part of you came into this body, but the larger part of you is still non-physically focused. Just deal with that. Humans want to call that your soul or God force. We want to call it that non-physical, eternal part of you that you have sprung forth from, but that you're still intricately tied with. It's your vibrational nature. It's your true vibrational nature. So that part of you adores you. When you're mad at you, you cause a vibrational difference. That part of you loves others. When you find someone who is despicable, Esther loves that word, despicable, you cause a vibrational variance. So when you separate yourself from you by the logical thing that you've chosen, that's a vibrational variance. But if you practice it long enough, then you end up in this sort of habit of vibration. So we've been wanting to demonstrate that your point of attraction is like a sort of swirling state of being. It's a vibrational disc, sort of like the seven dwarves. There was Henri. Well, they called him grumpy, but same difference. And happy. There was dysfunctional and passive-aggressive. So Esther's up to about 200 dwarfs now. She's having such fun. She recognizes them around in herself and others. So there are these habits of thought, these vibrational habits of thought that represent this sort of vibrational place where you hang out. And so if you've been hanging around in hopeful but not believing, then that's what the universe leads you to. If you're hanging around in despair or discouragement, then that's what the universe leads you to. Let's define what we mean by that's what the universe leads you to. It's a better way of saying that. That's what you find in the universe. That's what you find. That's what your point of attraction yields to you. So we want you to realize that if you will just choose the disc, if you choose the subject chooses the disc. Think about that. I'm going to think about money. Despair. Not really. Could be optimism, or could be fantastic journey. You know where you're at relative to that. When you think about wanting a relationship that you've never known, but that you sense is there, that you really want, and you feel lonely or the absence of it, loneliness is in a very different place than joy. So we're saying this to you more clearly than we've ever said it before. Choose the disc by the way it feels, not by the subject that you want to place on it. That's a good way of saying that, isn't it? So when we say, what are you going to think about? Your answer, if it's a really good answer, is anything that keeps me up here. Oh, well, are you going to think about the things that are important to you? No, that would take me down here. Because the things I really want, now we know, you know, we're playing with you because we see you progressing and having wonderful lives in many regards, but you know what we're getting at. Sometimes the things that matter to you most don't make you feel that good because the vibration that you've practiced isn't one of knowing or expecting. Every subject is like a big long stick or a little short stick, doesn't matter. It's a stick. A really big long stick that has two ends on it. On one end of it is what is wanted, and on the other end of it is the absence of what is wanted. And so if you pick a subject where you've been practicing what you don't want, and you say, I'm going to set a goal about this, well, then what you've actually said is, I'm going to set a goal to practice a thought that's way down here. And I'm going to practice it, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to struggle, and I'm going to proclaim my goodness, and I'm going to keep score of where I am, sort of like the things that you were telling us, only we're exaggerating it dramatically. And life's just going to keep giving you the same thing. So you pick your disc by how you want to feel. This morning, Esther was in her sleeping room, and she could hear some children and parents moving through the hallway with great volume. And her first thought was, they should be quiet, people might be sleeping. And her next thought was, they're really having a good time. Now, which of those thoughts do you think was the best thought for Esther to think? They're really having a good time. Then Dad started singing. It was awful. The worst voice ever. But he was so joyful in his singing. And Esther thought, that's really a beautiful thing. I hope no one ever tells him how bad he is at this. So she had the potential of going all over the place. But because she's been practicing that, it's like that's where the thoughts now must be. The thought could start out down here because bad singing is bad singing. In other words, you just know the difference, don't you? So her thought started out here, but because she was here, her thought just had to join her up here. She just couldn't stay down there. Not that long ago, her vibration would have joined her down there. Now, her thought is joining her vibration. Can you feel the difference? That's step 4. I've sustained my vibration long enough that everything in my universe has to join me where I am, or it's going to bounce right off of me. If it's going to join me, it's going to be where I am. I now have creative control of my environment. That's step 4. So let's just start really generally. So you've just awakened. You've heard everything that we've said. We know that you're internalizing it. The audience is with you. So what do you want to say now that you've awakened?
This bed is really comfortable.
You are brilliant. You are brilliant. The bed is comfortable. What else do you want to say?
The pillows are really comfortable.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
I feel great. I feel happy. I feel in tune with my body.
Yeah. You've got it. You've got it. And any thought like that, now stay there for 17 seconds, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. And then do it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And before you know it, we won't be having a conversation about what's missing in your life. The conversation that we'll be having is, you'll say to us or to whoever you're talking to, you know, I just let it go for a while because I realized that the subject that was so important to me had me sort of bound in a frequency that wasn't good to me for me. So I just let it go for a while, and I just focused upon the things of my life that felt really good to me. And I did it and did it and did it and did it until more thoughts joined, more thoughts joined. You see, because once you sustain this, even for a little while, the manifestations that start flowing are more good feeling emotions, powerful thoughts moving into your experience. You begin getting impulses that lead you right where you want to be. What Esther is discovering, now that she's there so much of the time, is that she'll get an impulse to do something that formerly she thought would not have been a very good idea to do it, but she'll do it, and then something will unfold that for just a minute she'll think, oh, I'm not sure if that was a very good idea either, but then that will cause a question to be asked within her that will bring a solution, and she'll realize, I was just led right down a path from where I am to where I want to be. Because she's heard us say, and you have too, that the source within you knows where you are in relationship with everything you want, and knows exactly what the path of least resistance is to get you there. But you've got to try a little bit to be on a vibration of least resistance. And as you start hanging out in a vibration of less and less and less resistance, it's just going to amaze you at first when you realize how smart non-physical is, how caring they are about where you are, how much they know about where you are in relationship to where you want to be. And they'll just guide you and guide you and guide you and guide you. And you know what the best part is? The journey is so fun. You keep thinking it's the destination that's going to ring your bells. The journey rings your bells. Because in the absence of resistance, it's fun here, and 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 it's really fun here, and it's really fun here, and it's really fun here. And that was so interesting. And I like this so much. And before you know it, every day of your life is one of just moving into things that are interesting and fun, and sometimes challenging, which is both interesting and fun, you see. You don't have to be where you think you want to be in order to be happy. You just got to be on the way to where you want to be in order to be happy. When you go on vacation, you're going to go here and here and here and here and here and here, and you're going to end up back home. And you never say, final destination is home. I'm already there. Why go? Because you know why you're going. You're going for the stimulation. You're going for the life it gives you. You're going for the fun. It's not the end result, and there is no end result. There is no ending. Step 4 has got to tell you that. We've been hanging around on step 1, step 2, step 3 for quite a long time. Now we're in step 4. Doesn't that let you know it never ends? And there's a 5 and a 6 and a 7. Don't worry about it. We're just kidding. It's just more of the same. It's just more. Once you get this and you've got this, once you practice this and you are, once you sustain it and you know how to do it, life's just going to yield to you all of the reasons that you said, I'll go forth into this physical experience. Not one of you said, I'll deprive myself in order to really want something. Not one of you said, I'll go forth into a broken world and I'll patch it up. You didn't say that. You said, I'll go forth and I'll figure out what I want and I'll line up with it and I'll feel good. And the wholeness of who I am is going to flow through the specifics of what I'm living. And I'm an eternal being. And I mean to make this moment and this one and this one and this one and this one all that it can be. Really good.
Thank you.